Hey, it's Nicole and welcome to this November writing recap vlog. I wasn't sure if I was going to post this because honestly I wasn't as successful with my writing as I wanted to be in November, but I thought it would still be nice to show you all the ups and downs of what I did film in November. So here's the vlog. Hope you enjoy. Happy November, the month where writers all around the world try to write a novel in 1 month. Except I won't be doing that this month. As I mentioned in a previous video, although I have done the NaNoWriMo challenge in the past, this year I've decided to not support the actual NaNoWriMo organization, but I still want to participate in a writing challenge. So I'm just going to be treating November as a novel writing month. And if you are new to my channel, hello and hi, my name is Nicole and I currently have 2 romance novels in the works. I'm at various stages of drafts with them. In all honesty, I have lost a bit of track with them. I started my first novel back in 2022 and I'm going to be returning back to both of my novels this November. Basically, I would still like to reach the 50,000 word mark by doing like revisions and rewrites on both of my drafts, but I don't have the expectation that I'm going to be finishing either one, and I'm also not going to be holding myself to doing the full 50,000 words. But don't click away because I'm not doing the full 50,000 word challenge. I am going to be doing my best to basically revise as many words as possible this month, but I won't be working from scratch. I'm basically going to be aiming to do a full rewrite of both of my romance novels, working with the drafts I have. For my first romance novel, I'm calling it Project 2A, and it's a story about 2 former friends reuniting and falling in love. And then for my second project, which I'm calling like my forest book, is about a woman who basically runs away from her current life to a cabin and falls in love with another woman. Those are some very quick overviews of my novel, but that's what I'm going to be working with this month. And although I won't be like writing them from scratch, I'm working off of previous drafts. I am doing a lot of writing from scratch, and I'm starting this challenge, or whatever you want to call it, a day late. Today's actually November 2nd. Yesterday was just a very busy day for me. I ended up getting my vaccines, so I just wasn't feeling great and didn't want to write. Went to bed pretty early, but here I am today. I sat down to write late this afternoon, and so far I'm sitting at 1,200 words. I was working on my first novel rewrite starting from chapter 1, and it is so strange coming back to it. I think it's been like a full year or more since I last worked on it. Of course, it's been like in my head this whole time, but yeah, to sit down and actually write and put down words to the paper with the characters again, it's been very difficult. I thought it would be really easy and all the words would just come to me and it would be fine, but it is definitely more difficult than I thought it would be. I thought I could just fly through and hit like 2,000 words like that, but it's been a struggle even working off of like the draft that I have right in front of me. But yeah, I'm going to continue writing because even though I'm not truly aiming for the 50,000 words, I still want to do as much as possible, and I want to get to at least 1,600 words by the end of this next writing session, so that's only 400 more words to go, so I think I'm going to set a timer and see how much time I have to write, and then see how far I make it. I'm still in the middle of writing, but it's actually almost about an hour later and I have reached 2,000 words. Yay, which is unexpected, and there's still more I'd like to write. I totally forgot to mention that I am working off of the paper draft that I had marked up a long time ago. I think doing this draft and then making plans for a rewrite was the last time that I had worked on this novel. And I remember doing that not this past summer, but the summer before then, so it's been quite a while. And also, as I sat down to write today, I realized that I couldn't find the original version of this draft that I had printed out. I could not find the original Word file that contained this whole entire draft, which in a way has sort of worked in my favor because it forces me to have to look at this paper copy and rewrite and make edits as I go. And some of the parts I am kind of transcribing word for word, but I'm sort of editing it as I go. So yeah, in a way I feel like I'm sort of cheating, but at the same time I'm really using this challenge as a way to just get me to write more than I have before. I had set goals for myself to write a lot more in October, but they didn't end up happening. I did end up finishing the Halloween short story and sharing it with my friends. I think the main goal for me this month is to just try to write as much as I possibly can of either novel. That way I can switch back and forth if I get tired of one. But so far I am enjoying working on this one, though it's taking me a lot longer than I thought it would to get all these words. I sat down around 3:30 and then right now it's currently 6:30, so I know at some point I'm going to have to stop and have dinner. Though I'm going to keep writing because I think I'm almost at the end of this chapter. There's still a ways to go, but the way I've rewritten this introduction, I've shortened certain sections but also made other things a little bit longer. I don't know, I feel like it's working better, but I'm just going to take everything chapter by chapter with Project 2A and with my forest book. I just want to take things slow, but put in as much work as I possibly can. I think I'm going to just continue working on this chapter. I'm going to try to get it finished up. So then that'll be my writing for today. And then tomorrow I'm meeting up with some friends, so I will either be writing early in the morning or later in the evening. I also want to squeeze in some video editing, but we'll see. I'm going to continue writing and then check in with you for a final progress report for the day. So another 30 minutes has passed. I have added about 700 words, though like I said, some of it is just kind of transcribing from my draft, making edits as I go. So it is going faster because I'm not coming up with the words from scratch. And I think I'm going to have to stop for today. I have been writing for a while and definitely need a break because the whole point of me not forcing myself to make sure I get the 50,000 words done is so that I don't burn out by the end of the month and I still have capacity to do other things. But it has been nice to sit here and write for the afternoon and a wonderful privilege to be able to have the time to just do that. I have quite a few busy weekends coming up ahead, so I don't think I will have the luxury of time going forward. But yeah, I'm feeling good so far, and it does feel good to jump back into the writing, even though I was really resistant to it when I got started this afternoon. I was really just thinking this sucks, my writing is bad, I don't want to write, this is terrible, this is awful. When minutes before I just started writing, I'm I'm so excited to write. I'm so excited to get back into this story and finally finish it off and polish it so that I can send this draft to friends and get their feedback and then go on from there. I don't know, it's just funny how at least my brain can do that sometimes. I don't know if that's relatable to you. But yeah, as much as I enjoy writing, it can definitely be a struggle sometimes. But all that said, I am finishing off today's writing session with 2,700 words. And let me share my progress tracker with you. One of my writer friends introduced me to this thing called BinoRimo on Threads. It is an alternative to NaNoWriMo, and it stands for Better Novel Writing Month. And when they told me about this, I thought it was just so hilarious and so good. I love that it's a concept where you are writing words in November to contribute to the bean, to the Beano. You are contributing words, aka beans, to Beano. So in the spirit of that, I have made a BinoRimo bean jar counter. I know this is kind of silly, but the whole point is I have done this to give myself some more motivation so that every single time I write 1,000 words, I color in a bean. And I hopefully have put 50 beans in here. I've counted them multiple times, but I'm hoping I didn't make a mistake. And yeah, each time I write 1,000 words, I'm going to color in one of these beans and write down the date on the bean And hopefully by the end I will have a jar full of beans, and even if I don't, it'll be fun to have a visual representation of my progress and how far I've made it. And hopefully by the time this vlog is up, I will also have this posted somewhere so that you can fill up your own bean jar if that is something that would motivate you. I just was able to print this out on a piece of paper. And yeah, I guess to finish off this writing session, I'm gonna color in my beans. So I'm going to go fill in my progress tracker and then settle in for the evening, and I guess that'll be it from me for now. I will check in with you again once I do some more writing. Also, let me know if you are participating in any writing challenges this November. It's a good month to get some writing done, the month before December when things get busy with the holidays and stuff like that. Also, I got these tiny little notebooks from Muji that I'm going to be using to keep track of my word counts in general when it comes to my novels. I am taking this idea from one of my friends. Their name is Landon, and they are also a writer, and they post all the time on Threads about their progress with writing, which I think is so cool. And they also use a notebook to keep track of their total word counts. So I thought I would do the same, just very simple, keeping a date and words, and hopefully I remember to update this as well. Today is all done. I again ended up doing my writing session pretty late in the day. As I said before, I was hanging out with friends this morning / early afternoon, and after I came home from the hangout I had a late lunch and then curled up on the couch and had a very nice nap. Probably a needed nap so I could warm up after spending most of the day outside, and honestly, once again, was kind of dreading doing the writing, feeling kind of anxious about it, and I feel like it's just mostly because I go into it thinking that it'll be like a bad experience or an uncomfortable experience, and it kind of is. I haven't done this much writing in a while, and I know it's only like my second day, but it is what it is. And today I was able to write 2,109 words. But again, I will say some of that is just transcribed from the draft that I'm working off of. It's not all 100% original words, so if you are also doing a writing challenge, please don't think that, wow, I am writing more than the actual required 1,667 words to reach the 50,000 word goal. I'm not writing all words from scratch. I'm just doing what I can, and it's feeling really good to be like diving back into the story and getting reacquainted with it. I am beginning to remember all these different plot points I had thrown into the book, and I'm really looking forward to getting to address them later on. I ended up finishing revising the rest of chapter 1. I cut out like a whole quarter of the end of that chapter because I was like, the wording is just so weird. It can really be condensed, and I think kind of still bring the same meaning across of seeing someone you haven't seen in a long time, but then you're also somewhat romantically involved with somebody else. You can't go after the person in the way you want to, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm trying not to give too much away because, of course, this is just another draft and it could all be changed. But I'm very excited to be diving back into these characters' stories again and just getting reacquainted with it. I thought by day 2 I would be switching back over to my forest book, but so far still content to be sticking with this one for now. We'll just see how far I get with it. And this morning I did do something writing related. I posted my bean word tracker online on Threads, and it seems like a lot of people are enjoying it. And I also posted the blank template for people to print out and use for themselves. I'll leave a link down below if you're also interested in using it. And I don't know if you can really see it, but I am now at 4 beans. I'm just over 4,000 words, and I'm actually like only 200-ish words away from 500 words, so that's very exciting. I'm making more progress than I thought I would be, and I'm feeling good about it so far. I think for the week ahead, it's going to be more of a struggle. I know most of my evenings are going to be busy with plans, and then usually in the mornings before work, I'm either busy getting ready for the workday or going to a workout class, which also takes up all my time. So I'm really questioning if or when I'll have any time to write during the week. And I'm trying not to stress myself out over it, thinking about it too much. I'll just need to give myself a little reminder to sneak in some writing where I can without feeling too overwhelmed by it. Interesting balance. Though I think that is going to be the end of this little short vlog. I wanted to make a shorter vlog to bring you along for the very first days of this writing challenge, so I can post it sooner than later to get you updated on what's going on, because I have made like some posts on Instagram and on Threads, but I know that not everyone is there, and a majority of you keep up with my writing journey through these YouTube videos. Thank you so much for watching and for coming along on this little update and the very beginning of my journey. I know this is probably going to be a very short video, but like I said, I just wanted to give you an update, and please look forward to more vlogs coming out as I continue the writing journey through this month of my November writing challenge, but trying not to stress myself out too much about it. And maybe I should just be referring to it as BNaNoWriMo, Better Novel Writing Month, where I don't stress myself out and I'm just doing my best to work as much on my novels as I can. But if you are also doing a November writing challenge, or you're just writing as usual, or even not writing, feel free to give me a little update below if it would help you. I always love hearing about what you're working on and where you're at with your writing. And if you're also doing a November writing challenge, let me know if there are any questions you have or anything you're curious about with my own journey with them. I have completed 2 NaNoWriMos in the past, which were a struggle, so it's been interesting going into this third one, kind of pushing aside all the usual rules for it. I'm looking forward to the rest of this month. I'm feeling anxious about the rest of this month, but I know that no matter what, I'm going to have written more words than I probably would have written anyways, and that is better than doing no writing at all. And I hope you can remember that message too, because I'm going to keep telling myself that message throughout the rest of my month. So thank you so much for watching and for being here and coming along with me on this very brief little writing vlog. And I hope to have another one up for you soon as I continue this journey. But best of luck with your writing. Happy writing. I hope it all goes well. And I will see you again very soon. Good morning. Today is November 6th, and I know this vlog is going to be coming out a little bit later, but I just have to address my feelings about this because I know it's probably going to affect me for the rest of today and the days ahead. And even though I am Canadian and not American, the results of the American election came out, and I just want to say that I really feel for you if the election did not go the way that you hoped it would. I know a lot of us are probably feeling very scared and maybe helpless, and I'm just trying to remind myself that no matter the situation, that there's always hope. Even though we may be scared and afraid right now, that there's like actions we can take in our own communities to help each other out. And I don't know if you needed to hear this coming from a Canadian who is somewhat removed from the situation, but also still sort of affected. I just want to say I hope you're okay and doing well, and if you're also participating in this writing month, that maybe writing can give you some kind of comfort from the situation if you are feeling some type of way about it. I hope this isn't me overstepping by saying that, but just truly being on social media this morning and just kind of reading what other people are saying about hearing the news this morning and how it's affected them, I really feel for you, and I'm just really sorry, and I just wanted to address it because myself, I'm feeling really down this morning, and I had intentions of waking up early and doing some writing, but really I was just on my phone feeling the kind of dread that I'm sure a lot of other people are feeling. But still wanted to start off this vlog and say that today is going to be a writing day still. Tonight I have a writer's meeting with my 2 other writer friends where we just kind of meet over the phone and chat and sometimes write over the phone together. It's a very nice kind of like midweek regrouping session for my writing. And since I last talked to you, which was on Sunday, haven't really done much more writing. It's just been super busy in the mornings, busy during work, busy after work, and I just haven't made the time to write. But today is going to be different, so I brought my whole breakfast over here just to check in with you and chat with you, but I'm actually going to move over to my desk so I can sit in my more supportive chair and get in maybe like 15-20 minutes of writing. So I'm gonna go do that now, and I think I'm still gonna continue to work on my first novel. It's been really comforting in a way getting to go back to these old characters that I know so well, and also comforting to see my previous draft in front of me and just know that I'm not going into it completely blind. Like I can either build off of it or write new stuff, and it's been fun doing a little mixture of both. So I'm gonna go get to writing that now and eat my breakfast before it gets super cold, and that's that. I just hope you're doing okay this morning. Sorry if you can hear what I presume is a lawnmower outside. I just wrapped up my writing session. I got in a couple paragraphs. I don't know how many words yet, but that's okay. I'll figure it out later. Ending it a bit early because I ended up getting a work-related phone call that I have to deal with, and that just means it's time for me to go into work because people need me. Yeah, I feel good about this, and then kind of while revising, I realized that at the end of this chapter that there's a better way to write it. I originally had it where one of my main characters is reflecting on a mistake he's made and kind of thinking about how to fix it, but after revising the other previous chapter with him, he is a very anxious guy, and I think his mind tends to go into spirals rather than kind of coming up with a solution. Originally, I had him resolve the problem himself and just be like, oh yeah, I can fix this, but in reality, I don't think he would, and I think he is going to be very quick to go and run and get his best friend / roommate to try to get him to help him work through this issue. So I'm excited to kind of rewrite the end of this little chapter, transition into the next one, and then see how it goes. But now, as that phone call indicates, it's time for me to get to work so I can resolve what's going on. But don't worry, everything is fine at work. Someone just had a question for me. I answer the question, it's fine, but it's just a reminder of like, can't sit here and write all day. Time to go get to work and get on with my day despite everything that's going on. So I will probably check in with you later when I have the writers meeting, and also I don't like writing when I'm at work, but maybe if I have time on my lunch break, I can just quickly tap out the rest of my thoughts for how this chapter will end. Yeah. I guess that's the update. I'm off to work now. So unfortunately, the audio for this clip ended up mostly being my tea kettle boiling water in the background, drowning out what I was saying. I remember that in this writing session, I had a breakthrough describing what I had already written to my 2 friends, and realizing that what I described happening in the chapter didn't actually happen in the chapter, and it sounded way more fun and entertaining in the way I was describing it. So it's inspired me to eventually go and revisit these 2 chapters again and sort of spice things up with the narrative voice that I've chosen to use. So that'll be interesting to do into the future. Good morning. We have done a bit of a time jump here, and I'm going to explain it all to you now. I believe the last time I spoke with you was probably on Wednesday evening last week, and now it is Tuesday of the following week, and I haven't done really any writing since I last talked to you. As I said, my whole goal for this challenge was to just get in as many words as possible, and I'm really proud of myself for writing more words than I probably would have this month, and for also just not forcing myself to write if I'm not feeling it. Like during other NaNoWriMos and the past 2 Novembers, I would really force myself to sit down and write and just get out those like 1,667 words every single day, or sometimes even more. And I just haven't been feeling it, and also squeezing in that time for me has become much more difficult. I feel like compared to past Novembers, my evenings tend to be a lot more full, and in the mornings I'm either going to my workout class or it's just become hard for me to not just want to like rest and sleep a little bit longer on the days where I don't have to be somewhere in the morning other than work. I mean, yeah, I guess on the one hand, I'm glad I'm not forcing myself to do it, but at the same time, I'm feeling guilty that I'm not here vlogging and I'm not writing and I'm not doing video editing, and that combined with just like some anxiety I've been having outside of, you know, the election and everything. It just felt like a lot. And I know that this past weekend I had a lot of fun plans with friends. We went out for a lovely high tea, which we've been doing seasonally, and I'm so appreciative of them. And still continuing to chat with my writers group to see that we're all kind of like sticking to our goals of writing. But yeah, I can't believe we are approaching mid-November, and I feel like I wish I've done more writing, but I know that if I have done more writing, it's like I just don't have the time, and I also kind of don't want to make the time. I don't know if I'm explaining that well at all, but I guess I wanted to sit down this morning and check in to just give an update, because maybe some of you are not writing as much as you thought you would or meeting the goals you thought you would. Regardless of if it's November or outside of November, I just want to give reassurance that it's okay. And I know in the end we're all going to complete the projects that we want to complete. We just have to like keep working away at it. I also want to say, don't worry, I'm okay. Despite my anxiety, I've been trying to take as many breaks as I need and trying to take care of myself while I can, but it's still a struggle, and maybe it's just because of winter time and daylight savings. But yeah, I'm still going to continue with the writing. I just know that tonight and tomorrow night I have my usual plans, so not sure if I'll squeeze any writing time. But another obstacle I want to help myself overcome is that currently working from this paper draft that I still haven't found or really looked for the digital version of it. Also just because I want to use my notes that I wrote down in here. I am going to try to use the scanner at work on my lunch break so that I can make myself a PDF copy of this. So hopefully that's like one actual barrier to writing removed. And it's been interesting to me that the more I work on this and the more I've kind of thought about things and also just like hung out with friends and talked to people, it's been reinvigorating my interest in this script and kind of like lessening the anxiety of starting to write again, if that makes sense. So yeah, my writing goal for today is to take this to work, make myself a PDF copy, and then if that all goes well, hopefully I'll be able to write a little bit more and I don't feel like I'm confined to sitting at my desktop or at a table where I need the extra space for the binder. I hope that makes sense. And also, I've spoken about this before, but I think anyone else who sits at a computer a lot or stares at a lot of screens, maybe you also deal with some form of chronic pain. For me, it is like my neck and my shoulders are always working up, but I've been doing a lot of like physiotherapy exercises, trying to do stretching. I've put in a new seat at my desk at work. So hopefully that kind of just like helps everything and I'm not like blinded by these headaches at the end of the day, which means more writing time. But yeah, kind of as we're approaching this halfway point, this is my check-in. I've been blabbing away for almost 6 minutes now. But yeah, I just hope it means that I can squeeze in more words, and I'm trying to remind myself that it is not a failure, that I haven't written as much as I maybe like hoped I would. It's an accomplishment that I'm telling myself to keep going despite everything. And I hope you can tell yourself that too. And I'm not sure if I've mentioned it already, but I'm trying to like reassure myself that I really don't have to hit those 50,000 words, even though I would really like to. Maybe like 20,000 is a good goalpost for me to reach. But I'm going to take my binder and head off to work, and I will check in with you later. Thanks for sticking around. Hello, it's Nicole from the future. It is now mid-December, and I know you just watched the clips of me from very early on in November attempting to do some sort of challenge, writing challenge in November, and unfortunately I have to say that I didn't end up writing as much as I had hoped or thought I would. After these couple of sessions, I did have a few more, and in total I ended up writing just over 5,000 words of my first novel, Project 2A. And like I've said before, although I had set out a goal to write many more words in November, life was just so busy. I basically had like all of my weekends full, seeing friends, and just my weeknights were also full. It was a really busy month, and I felt kind of like I almost had no time for myself, and when I didn't want to focus on writing or editing or I don't know. So even though my goal going into November was to not get burnt out, I feel like in some ways I sort of still did, and then December snuck up on me, and it's just been a busy month too, leading up to the holidays like I expected. But I still wanted to close this video off to give you an update and to just confirm that I'm still really glad that I was able to get in some amount of writing, and it is definitely more writing than I probably would have done in November, especially with everything that was going on. And I just want to say a really big thank you to you if you have stuck around and watched this entire video or watched any of my recent videos. I have read all of your comments and they have deeply affected me. I am so touched by all the kind words you've all had for me and how it feels sort of like we're all on similar journeys with our writing and creativity, and it's really comforting for me to know that even if I don't upload as much as I would like, that you guys are still here sticking around to see my journey. And I think doing this writing in November, and even though, you know, it wasn't as many words as I had hoped, continuing to keep my novels in mind and what I want to do with them has inspired me to really want to finish at least one novel in 2025. And I'm not promising myself anything, and tell me if you've ever felt this way, because I feel like maybe it's a little bit of an abstract thought, but I feel like writing the early stages of my novels, I feel like when you first start writing, it's really hard to kind of picture the end result of everything, the end project, or at least for me, it's hard to imagine what it'll be like finishing it. Like I sort of start a project unsure if I'll complete it. Even though, you know, the goal is to complete it, it's kind of like it's so far in the distance, I don't see it, I don't know what that's like. But coming back to my first novel this November after I'd sort of ignored it for about a year or more, I really want to get it done, and I want to put it out there, and I want to share it with my friends and hopefully share it with you once I'm ready to publish it in some form. It's been really comforting coming back to those characters and being able to write with them, and after taking so much time away, suddenly having a very clear vision on how I want it to be finished and all wrapped up in a nice bow. I can't say the same about my second novel. Still working on it, still thinking about it, even though I've done all the plotting, but it's a process and I'm going to continue on. So another question I have for you while I'm here. Seemed like a lot of people online really enjoyed this like coloring sheet I made where you color in like a bean for every 1,000 words you wrote. And for some people on Threads, it was extremely motivating, and I'm so happy to hear that. You know, for me, I didn't have the time to fill out all my beans, but it seemed like it worked for a lot of people, and it was really inspiring to see people like color the full thing and get it all done. So is that something you're interested in? Like, are you interested in having more access to coloring sheets to like track your word progress? Because I'm thinking about making more. There seems to be a few people who are asking for them, and I'm happy to make them if I have the time. But if you're also interested in them, let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, I guess if you don't see me before Christmas or before New Year's, thank you so much for watching. If you celebrate the holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I wish you all the best in the new year if I don't see you. And thank you for being here and for spending some time with me, and I hope to see you soon. And if not, I will see you in the new year with more videos and more writing updates. Sorry that this one wasn't as exciting. I was really hoping November would be a big writing month for me, but probably should have stayed true to my feeling of I'm gonna be too busy to sit down and focus and write. But I hope if you did a November writing challenge that it was super successful for you and you got all the words you wanted to write in. And if you didn't, just know that you probably wrote more than you would have before, and you should be proud of yourself for that. But without further ado, I'm gonna end it off here, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.